So after Mum died, we got this undertaker, Angela, and really lovely, strong lady, and she was great with helping us sort Mum's funeral. And it was hard, but I knew it was coming with Mum's cancer and everything. So it was just something you had to do. The pain doesn't go away, but it's something that eventually you kind of learn to deal with. We buried Mum, and 2 days later my uncle died. That's okay, because, you know, we knew a good undertaker. So by the time we buried my Uncle Walter, in the middle of kind of November time, I don't know, the months and the days around there just get crazy. But we used Angela again. My gran thought it was great, happy as Larry she was, and the dementia had completely kicked in. At Mum's funeral, she thought she was going to her daughter's wedding. By the time we got to Uncle Walter's funeral, she was just giggling her head off and happy on the sherry. And I kept saying to my auntie, look, you know, you've lost your sister and you missed out on the donuts and the sherry then. Don't miss out on the donuts and the sherry for this one, now you've lost your husband. So we were actually laughing in the car on the way to the funeral, because what else can you do when it's that bad? You've got to laugh, otherwise you might as well give up. It was June the following year that Dad started mentioning that he was seeing Angela, which was just a little bit of a mindfuck. You know, here's this woman who embalmed my mum, and now she's dating my dad. By the time we got to just over a year after Mum dying, Dad and Angela were very much a couple. And when my gran died, a year and 4 months after Mum, we used Angela and we got a family discount. And the next day after my gran's funeral, Angela moved in with Dad. And I can completely see why. It's totally practical. She was renting a flat, Dad owned his own place. If you've got 2 kettles and 2 toasters, it doesn't make sense to just hang on to them. It doesn't make sense if you're spending all your time at one house to be paying rent on another house. And I can completely see the practicalities as to why Dad and Angela moved in together. He was ready, he wanted to move on with his life, he was happy to do that. And I had to sit there and accept that that's what he wanted to do. But he refused to accept that any of us girls were ready to move on. He said that our grief was our own private grief, and it was up to us to just deal with his decisions. A good role model for my dad at that point would be Walter White from Breaking Bad, because that's just how his attitude was. It was black and white, it was simple, that was it. And we just had to move on. So I did the good, dutiful daughter thing, and I kept my head down. Started going a bit nuts. Husband not supporting me. Trying to hang on to doing a degree in this place. But my sisters didn't do it that way. And that's when the argument started. And all of a sudden then I'm dreading the phone going, because it's either Dad talking about them or it's them talking about Dad. And nobody's thinking about me. I'm trying to be the diplomat, trying not to fall apart, trying to hold it all together. And nobody even sees that I'm suffering. But I do like Angela. She's a really nice lady. I've got nothing against her. But it's just the fact that my dad's decisions around his love for her trampled all over the grief of everybody else. And this even got as bad as, at my sister's wedding, my dad refusing to sit at the top table unless Angela could be there. He refused to be in photos unless Angela was next to him. And I was the photographer. And it tore me apart, and I've never forgiven him for it. And we talk, he comes to visit, we do all the things you're supposed to do as a daughter and a father. But that side of him, I never want to see that side of him again. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. When he turns into that selfish, arrogant prick that tramples all over everybody else, I don't want to be anywhere near. That's why I live at the other end of the country. It's better for everyone that way.